What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another edition of the Sheehan Show. Me, Sean Sheehan, here on Sherdog.com. And today I'm back with my top 5 bets for PFL's first trip to Africa. It goes down in on July 19th, 2025, over in Cape Town in South Africa. And it's a real historic event. I'm really looking forward to it. And I'm going to have 5 bets from this card. I also have 5 bets from UFC 318. That's in another video already posted. So if you're here on the Sherdog YouTube or Sherdog.com, feel free to just scroll down and you'll be able to find that there. And on that, I told you I would quickly recap last week's bets on this video, and so I will. Not the best of weeks last week. We only hit one bet, and that was Chris Curtis via decision at minus 130. We had some great weeks before that. I think for 5 or 6 weeks in a row, we hit 2 or 3 bets every single week, so that was really good. So last week, not the best of weeks. We fluffed on Teixeira, we fluffed on the under in the Tuckus Tafa fight, we fluffed on Njeku, and the flyer of Landwehr at plus 100 to win by decision. It was very close. I think it was a good bet considering how the fight went, but the way it went in the third, not so much. So that was last week. Only hit one. The overall record now is 57 from 107. So that's not bad. We're still over the 50%. So let's get to this week and see if we can add a couple of more winning bets on to this one. Okay, let's start. Bet number 1 for the PFL Africa card. And I'm going for Cory Anderson at plus money. I've seen him in a few different places. I saw him at one place. He was plus 200, but I think the most even price I'll take for him here is plus 140. Either way, I'll take him in any game. I'll take him anything over plus money, to be honest. I really like Cory Anderson in this fight, and there's a couple of reasons for it. He's 35 years of age now. He has fought fairly big guys at 205, including Carl Moore, who's a former heavyweight last time out, Phil Davis, who's a massive guy for the division, Ryan Bader, who's the heavyweight champion, obviously, and he's won all those fights I just mentioned. So he's going up here, obviously, the heavyweight to fight against Denis Goltsov, who is on a great run at the moment. Obviously won the tournament last year, won his last 4 in a row, only losing to Sheehan in the last, what is it, 10 or something like that. I have an awful lot of time for Goltsov, but I think a big issue with Goltsov is not how is he going to win the fight, but can he win the fight if Anderson gets his striking really going and if Anderson gets the wrestling going? Because we've seen at times before when Goltsov wrestles, he does really well, but like the Sheehan fight, early in the second round, gets back on the feet, he gets clipped and gets knocked out. The Ante Delia fight, Ante Delia, very good, well-rounded fighter, a little bit like Anderson in terms of the well-roundedness, struggled in that fight as well, and obviously lost it. And the guys he's been beating, he's beat some good guys along the way, but as anyone is like athletic and well-rounded and talented as Cory Anderson, not in the last good while, I would say. Like the likes of Thiago Santos and Inter Vassell, a little bit past where they used to be. The Popov win last time out was a very, very good one, but he showed his dominance obviously on the ground against Popov, which, it'll be interesting to see that. If he can show his dominance on the ground against Cory Anderson, it could be the same case here, but I suppose we'll have to see on that one. I like Anderson. I think Anderson will get a takedown or 2 in this. I think he'll win on the feet, and I fancy him to win this. Is he going to win the decision? Is he going to win via knockout? Not too sure, but I'm taking him straight up anyway. So Cory Anderson, first bet of the week here, plus 140. My second bet is a bit of an accumulator of favourites. I'm going for Malambo, Babli, Decheva, and Eblin. And I was looking up, you can get it around minus 200, minus 250-ish now. There's some books have Decheva at minus 800, other books have her at minus 2,000. So if you play around, and also with Eblin, I saw one book had him minus 400, another place had him around minus 700. So if you can get get a good place where all the prices add up, I think you might be able to get it around minus 200. Now, maybe that's going to be tough, but even if it's up to minus 300, I do fancy all the 4 of these to win their fights. We'll get to Decheva and Eblin in a second, but on Malambo first of all, and on Babli. Like Babli, is a favorite for his fight, and I thought he would be. I believe his opponent has changed. I think he's a new opponent, if I'm not mistaken. And his last opponent was, a good challenge for him. Watched a bit of him, but I fancied him in that. And the new opponent, he's fighting a guy who's 8-5, upon Emmanuel Gans, who, I think the thing about Babley and Franz Blamba as well, we can throw it in here. The lads in this tournament haven't fought at the same sort of level that he has. Paul Emmanuel has fought, Sofian Bakaju, who's a good fighter, and he went 3 rounds with him. But other than that, it's tough to find, the quality. Now, he has fought in Hex MMA a couple of times. That's a pretty good promotion, and UAE Warriors as well, but he's lost most of those fights, if we're being honest. Whereas Babley, he's been fighting a pretty good level of fighter. Came up short in 2 split decisions against Nascimento and Trabelsi. The Trabelsi one, he really could have won that fight. He could have won the Nascimento one as well, and that's a pretty high level. So I like him there. And on the other side of it, the Franz Malambo side, Franz obviously an Irishman as well. And I've seen him fight a lot, but Franz is such a talented guy, and it's, watch he's a bit of his opponent. There isn't too much on him there. He's 5-0, and he looks like a good, good well-rounded fighter, but a good striker. Franz, the only issue for Franz, he's been on the sidelines for a while, but like the level of fighter Franz has been in there with, and the record of 15-6 is a real top record, considering some of the lads he has fought. Like, he was on an unbelievable win streak before losing to Khrushchev Kakarov in a fight. Again, he was winning. Ricky Banderas, he lost that fight, but he was winning that fight. Before that, we've seen Mokhtar Benassi got a massive win this year. He beat him. He beat Rishi Alhaz as well, who's been really good in the last few years. Beat Dominic Wooding, the former cage warrior champion. Beat Jonas McGart. He's beaten some really, really good guys. And I think Franz, at 34 now, this is his time to kick on. He hasn't fought in 2 years. He needs this fight. He needs this tournament. If he wins this, I'd love to see him in the big one next year. So I fancy the two of them. And the Sheehan, Dakota Decheva and Eblin. Like, Decheva is fighting Samiko Inaba. If you haven't checked out my preview, please do. Inaba's a very good fighter. Very good jab, very good up the middle. The problem is Dakota Decheva is just better. She's a better jab. She's better up the middle. She's faster. She's more athletic. And I find it very hard to see Inaba winning that fight, to be honest. I think Decheva is going to just give her fits, to be honest, and probably end up finishing her pretty early. Eblin then, I like Van Steenis in terms of he's a good fighter, and I think he actually could cause Eblin problems, to be honest. And like at plus 400, I don't think it's the worst flyer in the world, but at the end of the day, I do think Eblin will win. I think his wrestling is just going to be a bit too much. His pressure will cause him issues against Van Steenis, but will also cause Van Steenis issues, and I think over 5 rounds, that's just going to be too much. So that's bet number 2 of the week. A 4-way parlay of Babley, Malambo, Decheva, and your guy Johnny Eblin. Right, let's get to bet number 3 of the week. Bet number 3, I'm going for AJ McKee. He's around minus 215, 210-ish, if you can get him at that. For his fight here against Ahmed Magomedov. And I think back down at featherweight, which actually I failed to mention the previous show, I think that's a real benefit for AJ McKee. I think he's better at featherweight. I always thought he was better at featherweight. He's 22-2, lost to Paul Hughes, obviously last time out, lost to Patricio back in 2022 and went on a 4-fight win streak in the middle of 2 of them. I think Hughes was just too powerful. And like, Hughes is a very good, well-rounded fighter as well, and deserves to win. Obviously, it was a split decision, but Hughes won it fairly comprehensively. And I think losing that fight it's a long way back at 155 for him. So I think going back down is good. Ahmed Magomedov, he fought one of my countrymen as well, Nathan Kelly, last time out, and he won that fight, and I was very impressed with him. He lost to Henry Corrales in the fight before, and I don't think he showed in previous fights what he showed in the Nathan Kelly fight. I think he was very, very good in that fight, but I think the issue for him might be like Nathan, for at the start of that fight especially, had some good moments, and it turned kind of after the 4 or 5 minute mark. Magomedov landed a big, I believe it was a knee in the clinch, And Nathan Kelly kind of struggled after that. But I think AJ McKee's the type of guy, if you don't start well against him, like AJ McKee's a finisher. The amount of submissions he has, like he's eight submissions and 6 knockouts, but he submitted some really, really good guys, you know, the likes of Clay Collard. Obviously he submitted Patricio, Darian Caldwell, you know, Derek Campos. He's a couple of submission of the year wins as well. I think this one's going to be a submission. I think he'll be happy to go to the ground. Magomedov, you know, he can fight anywhere, but like in that Nathan Kelly fight, a lot of it was kind of on the ground against the fence. I think that's a dangerous game to play against AJ McKee. So I like AJ in that fight, and he's bet number 3 of the week. Bet number 4. Okay, 4 and 5 here. I'm kind of giving you 2 half flyers here, 2 heavyweights, and 2 guys on really good prices. So I picked Michael Grogu over in the preview show to win his fight against Maxwell Nana. And then I saw he's plus 300, and I'm like, well, that's definitely one of my bets of the week. I think the reason Grogu is that such a big of a price is because of not his last PFL fight, but the one before that, where he was the guy, I don't know if people remember, he kind of walked out, hands down, got head kicked and knocked out in 10 seconds. Now, he became a bit of a meme because of that, but he's won his last 3 fights in a row. Got a good decision win in PFL last time out, 2 finishes before that. He's fought in Aries a few times, fought in Hex MMA again, a very, very good promotion. You know, the level of guys he's fought, again, not massively good, but this guy is a talented fighter. Maxwell Nana, you know, he's fought in PFL as well. He's fought in one championship a couple of times. He's fought some good guys as well. And, you know, he's a finisher, all 6 of his wins inside the distance. I just think this one, and with the next one as well, I just think they have finish written all over him. Like, someone is getting knocked out in this. And, like, at 6-2 and 6-1, like, you're giving me plus 300 on one of them to win at heavyweight. Like, it could be either guy, really. I like Grogu. I like the way he fights. You know, Nana obviously has to step up a few levels. Let's say he can step up a few levels. Then he will beat a guy like Grogu. But, you know, Grogu fighting MMA Factory as well. Cyril Gane, he's some good training partners there at heavyweight. I like him in this fight. I like him at plus 300 a lot. And I think there'll be a big knockout somewhere in this one. And in the last bet of the week, the bigger kind of flyer here, I'm going for Jaffe Hulton to beat Abdullah Khan, and he's plus 350. I was kind of surprised with this as well. You know, Jaffe, I've known him for a while. Obviously, he's fighting over in the UK. He trains with Asplan and all those guys, but he's fought around the world, and you know, he's fought in Bellator before, actually, years ago, and like only the second fight of his career, ended up losing to Gokhan Sakaram. But like, he's been on a great run since that. He's won 6 of his last 8, I believe. Got some really good knockouts. He's really good on the ground as well. He's 3 submissions, 4 knockouts. And against his opponent Khan, like, he's a young guy. Again, big power. He's 1 submission as well in his record. There isn't that much tape on him is the only issue. But again, it's one of those ones I watched, you know, Jaffe Hulton's fights, and he has never gone to a decision in 11 fights. You know, he's the ultimate kind of kill or be killed fighter. He's been finished 4 times, and he's finished his opponent 7 times. His record is 7-4. He's one of those guys that if he lands a shot in you, you're going out. He's one of those guys that if the fight goes to the ground and he can catch you in something, like, was it he won by Kimura there recently? No, it was armbar, sorry, he won by. Like, for a heavyweight, that's really, really good. He's an absolute dynamo on the ground. And for Khan, you know, he's never fought in a big league yet. You know, he's 3 fights so far: Nightmare FC, Sipow Arena 1, African Knockout 7. You know, this could be a big step up for his Jaffe. Like, has fought in Aries, he has fought in Bellator. You know, there's some EFC he's fought in as well. Some big stages there. That makes a difference, I think. That really, really does make a difference. So that's bet number 5 of the week. Okay, so just to recap the 5 bets, I'm going for Cory Anderson plus 140. I'm going for accumulator 4-way Malambo Babli Dechevan Eblin at minus 200-ish. Minus 215 for McKee is my third bet. Plus 300 for Grogu. And then plus 350 for Jaffe Hulton. All right, everybody. Thank you very much for tuning in. Please bet responsibly. In the comment section below, leave your 1 bet for the PFL. Who do you think is going to win If you could give a thumbs up, a like, a share, a subscription, and all that, it would be absolutely brilliant. I'd really appreciate it. But until next time, my name is Sheehan for Sherdog.com, and we'll see you all then on Sherdog.com.